With the release of Transformers the last night, I thought I would go sit down and watch all of Michael Bay's Transformers films and figure out what is the worst Transformers film and what is the best Transformers films. They're not very good movies, but we need to figure out which one is the best and which one is the worst. So let's get started on Transformers worst to best. I know there is a 1980s cartoon Transformers film, but I'm not going to include that in the list. I'm only going to include the Michael Bay directed Transformers film. He started this franchise in 2007 with Transformers and now has continued into its 5th installment in 2017 with The Last Knight. We have seen Shia LaBeouf as the lead man all the way to Mark Wahlberg. We've seen Megan Fox in a couple films and some other girls I don't really remember. And all these films really focus on the same kind of storyline, an ancient artifact that could destroy the world that the Decepticons want, and it's up to the Autobots and a young boy or an older boy to stop the Decepticons from destroying the world. And there are some pretty idiotic racist robots thrown out. So with the release of the new Last Knight film, I got to see all 5 films and now I have a clear mindset of what is the worst Transformer and what is the best one. So let's start with the worst Transformers film, Transformers The Last Knight. This is the newest installment and is easily the worst installment of all 5. This one has the most jumbled storyline and the one that has the most plot lines that I really do not care about. I'm confused as to why they're there in the first place. We have a young girl in here who feels connected to the Autobots and I really don't know why, and honestly her character did feel a bit pointless. I honestly thought Sir Anthony Hopkins would have done a great serious role in this movie, but no, they took a typical Transformers route and made him a very comedic character, and honestly it was a bit annoying. I did like some of the CGI, the battle sequences were cool, there's a cute dog in here, but overall this film was very annoying. Some plot lines that just didn't make sense, felt out of place, the humor was in its way of ruining some dramatic moments, and it was pretty bad. One of the films that I really wanted to walk out within 10 minutes of its showing. Coming in at number 4, the second to worst Transformers films, and that is Transformers 2 Revenge of the Fallen. Upon first viewing, I thought this was a pretty cool film, but going back and watching it and seeing the mother eat weed brownies, I thought this was a very stupid film. The mother eating the weed brownies is one of the many plot points and scenes in this movie that make me really scratch my head and wonder what is the purpose of this scene. There's so many sequences in this movie that just really serve no purpose to the overall story of Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. I did like the end battle sequences with the pyramid and Sam Witwicky getting involved with that, but overall there were so many things in here that just did not need to be here. Coming in at number 3, the middle movie, is Transformers 4 Age of Extinction. This was the first film that did not star Shia LaBeouf as the main man. This had Mark Wahlberg as the leading star. I did think that he did a pretty good job for this role, but his character did feel a bit convenient. He was a man who was working with machines, he was an inventor, and he happened to just find Optimus Prime. Did feel a little convenient. I did like the dinosaurs in here, I really liked Grimlock, but once again, the humor got in the way of some dramatic moments and some plot lines did feel out of place and very not needed. Some of the human characters in here were rather annoying as well, like Stanley Tucci and TJ Miller and the young girl who played Mark Wahlberg's daughter, all felt very annoying and were like a nuisance to the storyline. With a shift from Shia LaBeouf to Mark Wahlberg, it really honestly did not offer anything new compared to the previous 3 movies, Dark of the Moon and Revenge of the Fallen, and the very first one. It's always the same exact thing. Comedic moments that get in the way of some dramatic moments, over the top, stupid robots just get in the way of really enjoying this film. Michael Bay does not have a clear direction on where he wants these movies to go. He wants it to be a dramatic, action-packed film or a really silly comedy, and he can't blend either of those together very well. Coming at number 2, the second to best Transformers film, and that is Transformers, the original film. This was released in 2007 and really had a big blockbuster feel to it. I remember going to the theater and really enjoying this film and the overall tone that this movie presented, and leaving the theater, and now 10 years later, I still think of it as an awesome summer film because I saw it in theaters when I was going into 10th grade and I loved the movie. It was, now it's like whatever, but the feel of being young and going to the movies, and it was a cool experience. And I think this is the one that definitely has the least annoying Transformers, Autobots, and Decepticons. There weren't those little tiny robots on wheels that just annoyed Shia LaBeouf and Mark Wahlberg and annoyed the audience. They had some genuine serious robots like Bumblebee and Optimus Prime and Jazz and Megatron and the Decepticons, they all were pretty serious. It's the characters that were stupid, like Anthony Anderson and the young girl who was working for the FBI and the guy from The Big Lebowski. A lot of the characters in here were very over the top and honestly had some pretty bad writing, but I really like the score in here. It's very sweeping, very dramatic, very big and grand. That did match the people discovering the Transformers for the first time, and I really like the score in here. Alright, so let's go to the best Transformers film, and there's only one left, and that is Transformers 3 Dark of the Moon. Even though this is the least action-packed Transformers film in my opinion, this is the most coherent Transformers film in my opinion. Sam Witwicky is trying to find his place in the world. After the events of Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, he's trying to find a job on his own that is away from the government. He has a new girlfriend because Megan Fox did not want to return from this film, and she happens to be almost hotter than Megan Fox. How does that work? How does Shia LaBeouf score these girls? And there's not a lot of action in this film, I would say, for the first half of the film, and I'm okay with that because it kind of tones things down. It's more coherent. I can actually get involved into the storyline. There's not Optimus Prime telling me a bunch of things and then a bunch of side stories going on where you have to like piece everything together to understand the story. It's very straight to the point, which I really did appreciate. I could actually sit down and understand what is going on in the story, where all the other ones I'm like, if I miss something for a split second, I'm lost. This one was okay. And I really did like the end action sequences in Chicago and the buildings falling down. I did like some of the Transformers, but all the other previous Transformers films, the storyline is what really bothers me, and this one was a little more coherent. It was about an object on the moon and discovering Transformers on the moon in the 60s, which I thought was pretty cool, connecting it to the real world, but it was the most toned down, coherent Transformer film of them all. So it stands as the best Transformers film. Like I said, I'm not going to include the 1980s cartoon Transformers film. I've only seen that once. I really don't remember that, but I really wanted to just include these trash Michael Bay films all in one ranking video. So before I leave you guys, comment down below with your ranking for the Transformers films. You guys can go and include the 1980s one. I wouldn't mind. Thank you guys. As always, you guys are the best. This is Justin Watches Movies, and you stay classy, YouTube.